back to another edition of the John Wayne Surge Protector Podcast, 6040 production. I'm Eric Halsey.
I am Alex. Might have melanoma midway as went a little bit of golfing here in the wonderful sunshine state of Arizona, and boy did that sun destroy me.
Yeah, it was a warm one out there today from what I heard while sitting in my little unventilated fart box inside with no windows.
Yeah, we try to hydrate with a whole lot of beers, but apparently it's that is not the right way to do it.
Yeah, where's RFK when you need him? Let's fix that problem.
So let's do something about that. I mean, I even tried the suntan spray, and I was like, by about hole 12, I was like, you know what? Not having a hat, horrible idea.
What SPF were you using?
I used my buddy's SPF of 50.
50 is pretty good, as you well know and remember. I am in the 100 club.
You're also in an entire bottle club.
Yes, because my skin is the color translucent.
You have a perfect kind of white.
Yeah, yes. Never seen the sun, huh, boy?
Yeah, well, good.
Yeah.
You're one of them house boys.
Yes, that was 100% me.
So, all right, let's get into it. It's Thursday. We're close enough to Friday, and apparently you're taking your day off tomorrow.
Yes, I am flying out for a lovely wedding somewhere on the East Coast. So, leaving it bright and early tomorrow morning, coming back pretty late Monday. So, I'm going to pre-apologize for how drunk and loopy I sound on Tuesday's recording.
Well, hopefully you still have TSA, whatever sanctuary city you're flying to.
Well, it ain't international, so I should be okay.
Fair enough. And all right, let's kick it off with who said it. To be clear, since President Trump took over, food prices, or as many people call them, groceries, food at home in the statistical data ends up at 2.5%. And at this point, the speaker was cut off, and the person on the other end responded with, "When's the last time you were in a grocery store?" So this is kind of a double. Who said it and who responded?
Well, I know the running shtick of I don't know the answer to this one, but unfortunately, I did watch Scott Bessent do this back and forth. And the word gymnastics doesn't eloquently enough explain what he did to try to say how well our economy's doing, despite the fact that everybody gets to see their paychecks every 2 weeks.
It was Senator Maggie Hassan from New Hampshire who was questioning him. And if you haven't seen the interview, definitely watch it. It's hilarious. He brought a little PowerPoint thing. He's like, take a look at it. He's like, things are cheap now. Like, you guys did the same thing when Biden was in office. He's like, inflation isn't that bad. I was like, F you, I can't afford anything.
Yeah, it was, just in case you want to save your time, a prolapsed ace hole that once said, if you're having issue with housing, why don't you use one of your parents' 12 homes that they own in retirement, questioned a congressman about when the last time he actually physically went to a grocery store. Can't make it up.
The best thing is, she also asked him, she's like, hey, the president has said he doesn't care about people's, what's it called?
Financial situations.
Yeah, with financial situation. He's like, well, that was taken out of context. I'm like, no. The context was, hey, man, people are hurting. He's like, I don't think about that stuff. Like, that was the context.
Well, I will say, if you did listen to it, the answer he said was, it doesn't come into play at all. People, Americans, hurting financially does not come into my decision making whatsoever, while talking about how the reasons Iran can't have a nuclear weapon that they've been 2 weeks away from having for 30 years. So I do understand where he's going with there. Can't say he didn't say it, and can't say he didn't mean it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can compare it to Iran's nuclear capabilities all you want. You still said it, and you definitely meant it because you said it in context to what you were originally saying it.
Yeah,
so,
if anything,
he's eating that
makes
out.
It worse.
Yeah, it's not his fault. You're all poor. You should have hired a better guy for the job.
If we're taking a look at the situation of the Iranian nuclear weapon, our own intelligence agency came out and said they didn't have it.
Well, we got rid of that intelligence agency right January last year, so
but woke. But let's move us along. It's Tesla ticker 423 before 418 a day. And honestly, I don't know what happens. Something happened, but I was busy taking a look at my war portfolio because Trump has said progress has been made in Lebanon and Israel has continued attacking. So I don't know what he gauges as process or progress, but it sure as hell ain't a peace deal. But did you hear the whole thing about him going a little bit anti-Semitic on our little hat daddy?
No, I didn't.
So apparently he blew up on Netanyahu. He's like, you mother effer. It's like, what are you doing? Because like, I think on Monday he came out and said like, the Iran deal is finished. He's like, Israel's done attacking. And Netanyahu's like, watch this. Just proceeds to mob the living us out of a place again. So Trump calls him up. He's like, what are you doing? I said it would stop. He's like, you would be in jail if it wasn't for me. And they both confirmed it happened.
I like it. Unfortunately, I like my dream of them just attacking each other and then both just not making it to that final round. Unfortunately, kind of sounds like it would be nuclear and take all of us with us. But hey, you never know. By the time this is, I don't know, month is over, there's a chance I might be pro Hamas. Like they don't seem cool, but gauging off the alternative, I think they're all monsters.
Not even just Palestine, just full on a terrorist organization.
I'm slowly going from I'm going to use critical thinking to screw it, enemy of my enemy is my friend.
All right, fair enough, babe. Are you trying to get your phone calls forwarded and you're working overtime?
After 2 days of debating about it, I actually did have my feelings hurt. I thought I was extreme enough to be on the list and getting my calls forwarded, but hey, can't wait to run this thing this weekend.
There you go. My little golf buddy, I did the thing to him, punched in the numbers, star pound to 1 pound. Within a second, everything's disabled. I was like, oh, you ain't cool enough.
Well, he's never been the most extreme guy.
Hey, man, I was just checking to make sure.
But he is a foreign national.
That is true. But as far as stocks, I know we're not doing too much Tesla today, but your war portfolio, if you don't have one yet, you're a dummy because I told you guys to buy Swarmer back when it was still $25. When the IPO came out, it was $5. It is $71 today. And in case, like when I looked on that stock price, another thing came up, a company called Kratos Defense. It's if you want to keep it domestic. Today alone, they earned 7%. So it's clear that the markets do not think this war is stopping.
Congratulations on your big win here. I still think this is all fake money. I don't get it. And somehow that makes it evil. So you're a sinner.
That fake money is doing just fine paying my mortgage.
Fair enough.
So let's take it over Honey Badger stand. It's the Davos of Moscow has kicked off yesterday in St. Petersburg. And since they invaded back in 2022, most of the people pretty much punched out on attending this thing because, they invaded a sovereign nation. But we went ahead and sent over Rodney Mims Cook Jr. And he's the guy from U.S. Commission of Fine Arts as our representative. So we sent an architect to this thing down here. And if you have a moment to take a look at Robert Mims Cook Jr., he has a very punchable face, and he's got the same glasses, like those tiny round ones, as Roger Stone.
Yeah, he's definitely one of those guys that was going for unique and enigmatic and just kind of looks like the most effeminate Bond villain. Does that make any sense?
Do you remember back in, I don't know, like I guess 2000s, 2010, when it was the big claim to fame for the bros was the pickup artist or like the art of the game? Do you remember that?
That Chris Angel looking guy?
Yes, where like one of the things they said is like always accessorize. He's like, and that's when dudes would have like 17 rings, necklaces, like weird hats. He's like, you want to stand out and be memorable. Like that's what this guy ended up doing. He's like, I need these stupid glasses.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Young Eric would have sold his soul for a Kangol driving hat to wear backwards like Samuel L. Jackson. And thank God my dad was redneck enough to be like, not my son.
But you could pull off a pink button-up. That's enough gifts from God.
Well, by the time Pink Button Up me was around, it was a little bit more socially acceptable, and chicks loved that shirt.
You make it look well. Not many people can do it, but
They
let's
loved
not.
all the Jägermeister stains all over the front of it every single time I wore it.
I mean, it's at least Jägermeister going in stains instead of a Jägermeister coming out stains.
Yeah, it's that German pheromones really gets those ladies right, and they're like, "This guy seems like he knows what he's doing."
It looks like he's on a topic of Israel. I'm going to stop by and see what he has to say. Like, oh God.
I was pretty pro-Israel back then. That was back in my young, stupid Republican days.
There you go. So going back to this whole thing, it's I'm going to call him RMC from now on. It's he's going to be hosting a little forum called Russia USA, a cultural dialogue. And honestly, just another name for it should be like, we'll suck anyone's D for the right amount of money. And the fact that they worded it like Russia USA, not USA Russia, like coming from a representative of the USA, should tell you exactly who they're working for. And from canceling all the aid to Ukraine, lifting the sanctions on the oil, and now sending an actual representative to World Economic Forum for the first time since before 2022, like, it's clear who we're working for, right?
Yeah, no, like everything on paper says, Ukraine's our ally, but nothing we have been doing. Real, the follow through is not there. That's like a guy saying, "I am not taking your wallet," with his hand in your back pocket.
Or a man telling you that grocery prices are down. It's cool. I have this cool printed out sheet. Like, no, they're up.
Yeah, no, I have a net worth of $750 million. So if anybody has empathy to the working class who can barely afford food right now, it is I, Scott Bessent.
What's the price of a banana, Michael? $12?
12 million.
Yeah. So, going back to Spieth, it's the St. Petersburg Economic Forum. I went to the actual website on there, and two things that definitely caught my eye was the fact that both Luhansk and Donetsk are represented on there as regions of Russia. And one of the things that they wrote down was for Donetsk is going to be a free economic zone. That's just a word that billionaires love, kind of like your boss loves synergy. And it's the thing that's written down on it says it's designed with investors in mind. The menu allows users to select specific sections that highlight the Republic's various activities and aspects of daily life, with a corresponding content displayed on the screens. And this is just another way for them to kind of make sure that they can't get out of handing over Luhansk or Donetsk. You're like, if there are peace talks ever again, like, well, we'd love to hand it back, but the investors, we already cut deals, and if we change ownership, like, that's a gray zone, so we have to keep it.
All right, I am not Ukrainian. No Ukrainian blood running through these veins, but I feel like I know Zelensky pretty well, and I feel like billionaires investing in his territory that's not his on their Russian paper right now seems like an awfully cool thing to drone attack. Like, and, right? I mean, right? Like he's got to be licking his chops. He's like, if you think the whole world was behind me now.
It's a little bit of foreshadowing because we'll get into what Ukraine is doing. But for now, I just want to go over who RMC is going to be next to. And in addition to him attending it, there's a lot of movers and shakers are showing up to this whole thing. Former German Chancellor Gerhard Schroeder, actor, Steven Seagal, conservative U.S. commentator Candace Owens, and a pair of twins, Andrew and Tristan Tate. So, in case Schroeder rings a bell, it's because Putin wanted him as essentially the bipartisan or the impartial negotiator. Like, you might as well just ask for Steven Seagal if you're going to lie about the party affiliation.
Yeah, I read a little bit into this, and it looks like Steven Seagal is going to be there because Jean-Claude Van Damme declined and Dolph Lundgren never responded. So if you're going to go washed up 80s action star, nobody's washed up farther onto the shore than Steven Seagal.
Seagal's, what's it called? He had like some kind of honorary status given from Putin because he's been licking that boot for many, many years now.
Yeah, if this was 1989 and he was fresh off being hard to kill, I would say this was awesome that Seagal's going to show up and just pull Andrew and Tristan Tate's hearts from their chest. But I guess they're important enough to be around the White House now, so... weird how things change over 40 years.
Is this the same lineup as the Freedom Fest in DC had?
Do you think Seagal being there, do you think Seagal's never, molested a child, and that's why they had to get the Tate brothers to represent as well?
Like, we need someone from a pedo constituency.
Yeah. Seagal's too fat, and the kids have run too too fast now, so they had to send the Tate brothers.
Yeah, that scooter of his only goes so fast. But I did tell you about, what's it called? There's going to be a spot in Ukraine, and while Russia's going to Russia and U.S. is going to move over to the cuck chair, Ukraine is going to go ahead and Leroy Jenkins the F out of his place every time they get a chance, because multiple drones struck the oil of St. Petersburg oil terminal just a few hours before everybody arrived. So that locked down the local airport. It was perfect timing. So anyone flying in there, they understand now that St. Petersburg is about 700 miles away from the actual border of Ukraine to there. And the fact that they were hitting with drones at this exact time and Russia couldn't stop them, that's a message.
Paper tiger, man. I'm telling you, Honey Badger stand. They pissed on the wrong shoes.
So Zelensky did that, and then he also came out and he said purely military targets at the Kronstadt base were also hit. Kronstadt base is actually an island that's kind of right around the corner from St. Petersburg. It's very big into that. But another target was an enterprise in the Tambov region that produced Russian weapons, and it's about 600 kilometers from the front lines. That's 372 freedom units. So Ukraine's responding nicely after the whole thing with Kyiv. Like, that didn't lessen their step at all.
It still astonishes me that, Ukraine just got beat down and kind of lost all their weapons in the first 2 years. And now... they're doing so much with absolutely nothing. Just Ukrainian ingenuity. Is how you learn this fast and get this proficient is mind-boggling. Whereas, we were saying a couple episodes ago, you're like, the U.S. spent $30 million trying to figure out how to make a pen right upside down. It's mind-boggling. I've never been more enthralled with a country fighting back so viciously.
They're going against Russia, who everyone thought would just roll on them, and they've stopped getting aid from, U.S. It should have been over very quickly, but the fact that they're still in it is amazing.
Yeah, this is like Rocky IV. If Rocky was dead broke and started with a broken leg and a couple broken fingers, then they started the fight. And he's just, it's round 11 and he is just throwing haymakers.
Hand the camera over, he's getting chemo at a hospital, amputated on both legs. Jeez, he's like, Rock, you'll never fight again. He's like, I'll be back in the ring in a year.
Yeah, now go ahead and cut me, Mick.
Yeah. So, a little bit more in the Kronstadt base. Like I said, it's a small island, and there's Russian warships, and they're in a dry dock down there. One of his ships that Ukraine ended up hitting was a corvette Boyki, which was completed in 2011. And again, as you were saying last episode, Boyki sounds like a name that would get picked on, but again, in Russia, perfectly normal. But this thing cost $150 million to build. So Ukraine went ahead and they struck multiple targets down there, $150 million Corvette. And one of the things, when you're in dry dock, you open up all the doors and everything's turned off. So when a fire starts, it's not that easy to close everything up. And they just got done dismantling the Black Sea fleet. So they said, I don't know, we're running out of targets. Like, F them, go to the Baltic Sea.
Yeah, we were literally completely out of ammo a year ago, and now we're out of targets. What? How far can this one go?
Let's go look for something in another sea. They have Russian ports here too? Rock and roll, baby.
Oh, it's so good. Oh, it feels great.
So another thing, we touched basically, you actually mentioned how they've come so far. Another thing that happened was the fact that Firepoint conducted a fully controlled maneuverable flight of the FP-7X missile. what they're going to be doing, they're going to be trying to replace the Patriot missiles, which, unrelated news, somehow just stopped showing up after Trump took over. And yeah, I know, completely unrelated. And it's back in April, we talked to Dennis Stierman, which was CEO of Firepoint, and he told Reuters that they were in talks with unnamed European companies to launch a new air defense system capable of downing supersonic ballistic missiles by the end of next year. Now, put it in perspective, Firepoint did not get started until after the invasion. That's 2022. And they are talking about either replacing the Patriot missile system with something as good, nearly as good, or possibly better. And they're going to do it in a fraction of a budget in 5 years production time.
I feel like the United States is going to take whatever the most expensive option is, regardless of what's out there.
Like, a nut on the Patriot missile costs like $78. Like, Ukrainians like, I don't know, we use duct tape, bro. It still works.
Dude, didn't we just like scream at them, whoever makes Patriot missiles, be like, well, I know you only make 200 a year, but we need like 10,000 a year. So get on it now. Money's no object. Didn't we just go through this? And there's been another option this whole time.
Well, it's not there yet. They're saying they're going to finish it up by 2027 and they're working with people in Europe. And the fact that they're developing new systems and the fact that we right now under Trump, like a lot of our actual allies are weaning themselves off the American war machine. Like a lot of when they're looking at planes, like, do we want the new F-35? Well, Trump's come out and he's like, maybe I just won't give you the service manuals for them. Like, what the hell? Like, you're going to brick our fighter planes? Like, we'll just go buy it from some German fella. Like, the fact that Ukraine's putting something on the market that would rival the Patriot system on pennies on a dollar, and they've like, the Middle East has seen what they can do with drones.
Buddy, we've seen what they can do with drones. We had to ask the guys we are boning in a war where we're supposed to be on their side to send 200 of their fighters over here to explain drone warfare to us.
We just sent him a video of us in bed with Putin, be like, LOL, losers. He's like, and then the next day, like, hey, man, I got hacked last night. Can you tell me more how to operate these things?
So dumb. Well, rule number one of Fart of the Deal is make sure you alienate your potential clients. And, it worked really well for Elon and Tesla, right?
I mean, like, when you start out with the world's richest man, you can only fall forward.
Oh, God, Molotov cocktail time. Anywho, hey, remember when we reported, some people say it was us first, but, we're not here to pat ourselves on the back.
Many people say it was us first. Many people tell me. They come up to me in the streets and say, Alex, that podcast, best podcast. I tell you what, everyone tells me I'm a genius. See what we do and how stupid it is?
Yeah. But he's got better hair, I guess. So maybe that's why. That big 6'3", 215, slim, trim, buff, and cut. Lamar Jackson looking. Never mind. You remember when I spent an asinine amount of cash buying all those big mega warehouses to convert into concentration camps?
Yes, we needed every last one of them, right?
100% we did. And how they were using our tax dollars to buy these things at sometimes up to 10 times their last assessed value.
As long as we're not feeding some poor kid in Minnesota, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, all American children can starve as long as one brown family gets punished, right? I think that's where we landed on that.
Exactly. Half the country believed in it.
Yeah. Whether they're citizens or not, we'll figure it out months later. Nothing can happen to you if you're not paying your bills for 3 months while you're locked up illegally. Yeah. Anywho, well, it looks like ICE, now under their newer leadership, is eyeing to throw those properties back up on the market to free up some cap space, much like your favorite NFL team might. Isn't that fun?
It's amazing. It's like when they came out, they said like they bought these things because a lot of real estate guys were PO'd, that they bought like warehouses in the middle, like Kentucky. Like, what do you mean nobody wants to build anything here? Like, have the administration buy it. I'll buy some Trump coin.
Yeah, no, these people, a warehouse would be available for purchase for $4 million. And then they'd come scoop it up. And then a year later, all of a sudden the government would come knocking on the door saying, I will give you $50 million for this property we need.
I cannot wait to go on Zillow and take a look at who sold the property to us. And then 1 or 2 years later for what they bought it back for.
Yep, 100%. Now, while none of these properties are on the market quite yet, DHS has said under the new management of Flushels the Clown, they no longer need to have any kind of property to hold 100,000 immigrants at a time, which is the exact opposite thing what they told us when they spent all our money in the first place. But who am I to remember those type of things? That was so long ago, less than a year. This also might have something to do with the affected surrounding towns suing to keep ICE from actually operating their detention centers in accordance to local laws, as well as those BMFs in Georgia who just straight cut off their power and water to the ICE facilities.
Well, you did that one before. Wasn't it because they weren't even responding to requests? Like, we're a government, we could do anything. Like, okay, you can go F yourself.
That's exactly what they did. And then that township went, okay. Hope you got some federal water you're trucking in here.
I mean, are they gonna stop, what's it called, the mass deportations? Like, how do we change the game plan from needed to house 100K immigrants to not?
I'm assuming they're just planning on shooting them on sight, but, what do I know? I just pay attention.
It's like, we're converting old quarries into holding centers. Like, wait, what? In the middle of Texas where it floods easily.
Yeah, they're just going to end up building that hole from 300 and just start chest kicking people down into it.
It's more humane this way. Like, is it? Like, now you guys are wearing armbands? We saved on design costs by using this spinning wheel thing. Like, that's a swastika.
Yeah, that's not a windmill that stopped.
It sounds you gay.
I told you wind power doesn't work. Now, it kind of seems dumb to me to buy a property sight unseen without getting a feel for the area you're moving into, but I've also never frivolously spent other people's money before, so that just could be a me thing. The ultra-expensive Boeing 737 MAX 8 jets that Kristi Noem broke bank on were also mentioned in this possible fire sale, but Wario the evil plumber has allegedly already shot down that idea because I'm guessing Corinthian leather feels great on plumber's crack. But either way, the government's going to take a bath on these properties, and I cannot wait, like you were saying, to see who profits off of this.
Yeah, man, it's kind of like you come in, you take over the administration, like it's in shambles, but it's got some sweet office furniture. Like, well, we want to show the people we're new. Like, I don't know, put out a press or put out a new video. Like, don't get rid of my butt coolers in my jet.
Yeah, I want my air bang bus to be exactly the way it is right now.
You expect me to fly commercial and just have people throw rocks at me because of what I'm doing? Like, and I have the option to fly privately on this pimped out jet that we bought? Like, yeah.
Yeah, the only thing he's also going to spend more money on is a new set of sheets for that bed on his Airbus, because who wants that Kristi Noem cheater stink all over his new plane, right?
That is true. I mean, you got to dress it up, make it your own.
Exactly.
But did you hear about Hunter Biden being in the news lately?
Oh, king of the clapback?
Yes. And his calci actually just came out, and they said there's a 14% chance that he runs for president on the Democratic ticket. So if you want to make a couple shekels, that's the way to do it.
Well, this country has zero problem with nepotism, and who doesn't love cocaine? So I don't know what to tell you. I haven't heard of him ever touching a child, so he's already like 4 levels higher than anybody else we have up there now.
So actually, he did not like cocaine. It's one of the posts that someone put up. He's like, your paintings, who gives an F? I want to know how much coke you snorted before posting this tweet. His response, man, if you're going to be mean, at least get it right. I smoked crack. I would never have wasted coke on snorting it.
Well, you know what? Fair enough. So I also saw another one where somebody was like, you haven't been sober 7 years. That was your coke that you left in the White House. And he was like, buddy, there's not a chance I'd leave my drugs anywhere back when I was doing them.
Like, the man's on a mission. It's, what's it called? Like, I mean, if someone's going to leave drugs behind, it's going to be a guy who leaves drug bags behind, like breadcrumbs, and runs a golf course management company, but is also a drone supplier to the U.S. military. Like, I don't know. Maybe it was someone else on that one.
Yeah. The other thing is, I could see him being the child of a sitting president, and you're like, you have to keep a certain amount of class. He's been blamed for every problem for 10 years now from this administration, and they replaced his dad's picture with an auto pen. The time this Chuck Schumer, if you are listening, and we know you are, this is the time to quit your strongly worded letters and your high nose up in the air. Get dirty, get back, fight, be a man. Jesus.
I saw Chuck Schumer. He said he loves this podcast.
Yeah. That's no need to look into that. That is probably true, right?
Yeah. But another thing that he said, what's it called? And the whole thing with Kalshi, like someone tweeted at him, he's like, Hunter, I'd vote for you, but even if you're sober, which is great, I would require at least one crack joke campaign ad to pledge my loyalty. I await your response. And his response is going to be our actual album art for today. And he said, how about let's take another crack with Biden? Needs work, but the possibilities are endless.
And it's good. It works. I love it. Marion Barry got reelected after bitch set me up. Weirder things have happened.
He also went ahead and laid down some financial knowledge because some guy was questioning his paintings and implying that it was ill-gotten gains, and he responded with, it was $225K a year over 4 years. And then he talked about Kushner's affinity partners, which hold between $5 and $6 billion, and close to 99% of it comes from sovereign wealth funds. Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar, and Kushner gets about $90 million in these fees annually, whereas we're crucifying Hunter for making $1 million over 4 years.
Yeah, this is all silly money. None of us will ever sniff in our lifetimes, but I don't know. One seems a little bit more common man than the other.
It's like the Hunter Biden crime family. Like, buddy, they have a worse to crime if that's what they were doing.
Well, thinking about crime here within our own borders, with the UFC Freedom 250 inching closer and closer, a four-legged domed arch structure has been erected on the White House front lawn. The structure was built to handle rigging and lighting to showcase the octagon for Donnie's big birthday party, but the fellas over at TKO might have actually done too good of a job, because now Big Boy is saying he's considering leaving it up as a permanent installment to the White House grounds, comparing it to the Eiffel Tower. Trump saying he might never, ever take it down.
Well, first of all, he ain't leaving. I think it's safe to say now when he puts up his playpen. Second of all, I don't know what to say about this. I lost my train of thought. I had a lot of things going through my head, but this is so gaudy.
I have a chime in here. It's not well known to our listeners, but for a time, you were kind of the king of start a project and stop, and about 78% done. And you had a backyard filled with projects.
80% completion is 100% completion in my book.
What are you, a gun you're building online?
I still have to finish up the AK parts kit that me and a buddy got 7 years ago. Again,
allegedly.
80% done. It was legal. Still is.
But you had the class to at least keep it in the backyard, right? Yeah. Don might be white trash, man. When a white trash person wins the lottery, and they're like, what if I put gold on everything? I think this is what's happening to us.
I mean, what happened? The guy's got 3 baby mamas, moves into the White House, all kinds of gunshot breaks out in the neighborhood, takes the economy nice, putting up gaudy structures. He's a horrible, next door neighbor.
Yeah, 3 lies constantly, 3 baby mamas, tons of random debt. Everybody's mad at him all the time. I mean, thank God he's white and we know he's successful, right?
And you know what? Honestly, this might be the only project that's been done in his time, though. So I think that might be a reason he keeps it up.
That is true. But the comparison to the Eiffel Tower made me wonder. So did a little digging on this one. Because I was thinking, all right, so this thing looks nothing like the Eiffel Tower. There's pictures on Google all over the place. There has been for a week. So I'm guessing the only Eiffel Tower he's ever seen was at his best friend's island a couple years back. But the Eiffel Tower is one of the world's most famous landmarks. And I did find out it's actually only meant to be temporary right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that?
I did. It's
Well,
one of the things I learned in one of the books that I read. Those nerd novels.
well, there goes all my self confidence. So I just found out, so screw Alex. The Eiffel Tower was originally constructed for France's World Fair in 1889 to celebrate 100 years of the French Revolution. God, if only that was us. But it was only intended to stay up for a 20-year period until the politicians at hand were like, no, this thing's amazing. Let's just keep it. Fast forward a few decades, and it's right up there with the Sphinx, the Taj Mahal, and oh my God, does Trump plan on making this thing a casino as well? Is that what this is?
I honestly think he's trolling. Like, he's gotta be trolling. Someone told him, he's like, no, tell him you're gonna keep that gaudy thing up. He's like, that's hilarious. Let me get up there.
No, I don't think that's it at all. I think he's serious. Or he doesn't want to pay the people to take it down and get it out of there ever again.
I'm just gonna let it rust out and fall apart.
Yeah, why don't you just leave it where it is, and I'll let my pool guys take a look at it here when you're done.
You think that pool's gonna be finished because it was supposed to be already done, and we're getting pretty close to that 4th of July.
Not a chance.
Fair enough.
Now, some people may pick apart the UFC Dome Eiffel Tower comparison with statements like the Eiffel Tower is open to the public and not locked behind a barrier behind a giant gate, or the Eiffel Tower is the most popular proposal site on Earth, while this dumbass dome keeps running ads proposing I buy pills and Alpha Brain. But those people are just stupid and jealous and right. Remember when Republicans were terrified Obama was going to be listening to rap and having a cookout on the White House lawn? Thank God we don't have any kind of trash like that happening these days. Glad we're back to keeping it classy.
Yeah, white trash. But did you hear about the whole thing with Sean Strickland and Gaethje?
I did, and I thought Strickland, I still think Strickland's a pretty big a-hole, but didn't see him coming out as one of those a-holes that also hates pedophiles.
So what's the last thing you heard? Because this has been developing.
The last thing I saw was a post where he was saying, hey guys, I appreciate your support, but I got the phone call from the UFC, and because of the things I've said about the Epstein class in Israel, I am banned from this UFC event at the White House.
So it started out with him first criticizing the UFC White House fight. Back in December, he said he would not want to go hang out with the effing Epstein list. Then what you said happened, but another thing occurred. In a story on Instagram, Strickland came out and said, he's like, I already bought my plane ticket. We're effing going. I'm going to get a big effing bullhorn, and we're going to go right up to the gates, claiming it would be a peaceful protest. And Sean Strickland's going to get a rubber bullet, right?
Well, he's got a shaved head and he's white. So I'm guessing whoever the darkest person to his left is probably going to catch that rubber bullet. But, that's just looking back through history, how things work.
Going to fry like the ICE agent's head. He's like, he's white, but he screamed against Israel that cannot compute.
Yeah, I don't know, but more protests, the better.
So we leave you guys another weekend. You're going to hear a hungover Eric on Tuesday, and I will drink with him in solidarity over here in Arizona. I'm Alex Bidway.
I'm Eric Halsey.
Daddy, chill.
Later, Gators.